Good morning, everyone. It's Virgo Triad here, and today is April 2nd, 2018. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday yesterday and is getting off to a good start of their week. Today we're going to be doing a question and answer. I'm not doing it live because I'm still having problems with streaming. I'm not sure exactly what the deal is with that. I've been told that I need a different encoder, so I'm working on technical support through YouTube with regards to that to get back up on live streaming so you guys can ask questions live. But for now, what I'm going to do is go through the comments that I received, that I feel like I received a lot of comments with the same type of questions. And so therefore, I'm going to go through those. These are comments that I received through the month of March, and I'm going to try and make sure that I do one of these from this point forward every single month at the end of the month or the beginning of the following month so that you guys have the opportunity to hear the answers. Now, some of you are going to already be familiar with what my answers are, but for many people, the same questions tend to get answered or asked rather over and over again. So I'm trying to make sure those questions get answered on not only writing but also by video, because I'm sure many others probably have those questions also that haven't had a chance to go all the way through all of my videos. Okay, so we're going to start with the first question that I tend to get a lot, and this is something that I really would like to have on video where hopefully more people will be aware of what the scenario with this actually is. So the question is, so what about the HJR-192 that states that the government will pay off one's debt because of the gold that was taken away from the people back in the 1930s? Okay, so here is my very long answer to that, but I think it's important that it be read in its entirety, and you'll understand why once it's read here. For the last several years, there have been lots of arguments based on HJR-192 that have floated through the movement, some contending that it constitutes some sort of remedy for us today, but legal history shows otherwise. Shortly after the seizure of gold during the FDR era, several lawsuits were in fact filed, and three made their way to the Supreme Court: Norman, Nortz, and Perry. In these cases, attacks were made on HJR-192 and other relevant legal documents related to the seizure of gold, but the Supremes essentially gave no remedy to these litigants. I would suggest that interested students read these three cases. To contend today that we have some sort of remedy embodied within HJR-192 would require reversing these cases. Frankly, I'm not concerned about HJR-192 because it was effectively repealed via a law Congress adopted in October of 1997. See 91 Stats 1229. In the very last section of this law, it states that HJR 192 will not apply to obligations issued after this law becomes effective. For the last 33 years, HJR 192 has been meaningless to Americans and is nothing more than a part of legal history of that extremely important legal topic, money. I know that what I say here will not be well received by many who have learned wild arguments about HJR 192. The simple fact of the matter is that many gurus have spread crazy arguments about HJR 192, and gullible people have, without investigation or research, swallowed these arguments hook, line, and sinker. I just hope that people learn from this experience and will in the future require that gurus promoting certain arguments prove them. Some people approach life with the attitude of, if it sounds good, I will do it, and I just hope that other people start demanding that the gurus prove their arguments before convincing innocents to act upon them. But my act of clarifying this issue regarding HJR 192 should not be construed as indicating that I am supportive of our current monetary system. However, my personal feelings are not in question here, as I am only reporting the facts as they are in reality. Okay, our next comment. A4V is not for purchases, it's for set off of debt. This is very simple, folks. No. Real financial money lenders can charge off debt for a tax credit if they have a real loss. A4V, or accepted for value, as you guys are being told, is for getting your rear end fined by the IRS or thrown in jail. It does not work as it's being told to you by the gurus, regardless of whether you're a secured party creditor or not, because it is not a charged off debt that they are telling you that it is. The charge off that you would receive tax credit for as a real secured party creditor, someone or a company that actually has a real loss can prove that real loss. They can prove the backing of their promissory notes. They can prove they have a securities license. There are many things that are entailed in being a secured party creditor that is a real secured party creditor and money lender. You, as a private citizen, and you trying to change your status without the reality of being a real secured party creditor money lender is not going to work, no matter what you're told. Okay, the next comment is with regards to the master file by the IRS that you can order for yourself that I did the video on. And Dave George says, sign loan agreement and tell me if master file balance shows it. Have state rep get it for you. This channel lacks research personnel. Okay, here is my answer. You completely missed the point of this video, and making silly presumptions is not helping anyone. This channel has researched fully what comes on your master file. If you listen to the video, you will see that. In addition, the IMF is not a credit profile. It is an archive of what comes into the IRS and what goes out of the IRS in terms of your taxes. As far as research, you are the one that actually is lacking if you think that a loan agreement balance would be on your taxes unless you expressly made it with the IRS. Here is the deal, folks. There are some gurus that are actually going around and explaining to people that you can order your IMF, and your IMF is going to have every single thing you've ever done with a creditor, every single agreement or promissory note you've ever signed, and it's going to be within that IMF file. That is simply not true. The individual master file information is completely and totally with regards to any information like W-2s or 1099s that have been submitted on your Social Security number to the IRS, like something that an employer would do, or something that someone you did some work would do that they didn't take taxes out for you, and information on what you have filed. That is what is on an individual master file report. So unfortunately, the information that this gentleman has received is evidently incorrect. I guess he has found that out and has gotten irritated. And is coming back at me saying, you know, or he misunderstood my video. I'm not sure. With regards to this channel lacking research personnel, I guess you guys are under the impression that there's some big office here or something. No, it is my channel, Virgo's channel. There are about 5 other people that submit documentation into me on research that they have done that I can take a look at in order to assist, because I have so many people that ask questions, both by email, by direct mail, and by comments. So they help, but we're not a company, okay? I'm just me. And as far as lacking research personnel, we may lack personnel, but certainly not research. I do not put anything out unless I have researched it thoroughly. So just be aware of that. Okay, next comment. What is a CUSIP number, and what corporation provides the CUSIP numbers? Here is my answer. CUSIP stands for Committee on Uniform Securities Identification Procedures. A CUSIP number identifies most financial instruments, including stocks of all registered U.S. and Canadian companies, commercial paper, and U.S. government and municipal bonds. The CUSIP system, formerly known as CUSIP Global Services, owned by the American Bankers Association and managed by Standards & Poor's, facilitates the clearance and settlement process of securities. CUSIP number consists of 9 characters, including letters and numbers that uniquely identify a company or issuer and the type of financial instrument. A similar system is used to identify foreign securities. CUSIP International Numbering System, or CINS. CINS employs the same 9-character identifier as CUSIP, but also contains a letter in the first position to signify the issuer's country or geographic region. Now, the reason that this person was asking me this question is because they are confused as to whether what's on the back of their Social Security card is actually a CUSIP number or not. It is not. It is a serial number. I have had people ask me, well, then why is there a letter in front of it? It's very simple, because that is one of the ways that they keep the stock separate. The reason that the stock needs to be kept separate and they need to keep track of all of those numbers is to ensure that in case any went missing, that they would be able to block those out in the federal systems so that no fraud could occur. As I've said before, can you imagine what it would be like if the black market ended up getting a hold of actual Social Security cards that were blank? They'd turn around and sell them left and right to people, and identity theft would be going crazy. That is the reason for the serial numbers. Now, I've had people ask me, in addition, why is it that the letter on the back of these Social Security numbers corresponds to a Federal Reserve Bank? Well, the simple fact is it doesn't. It never did. The only reason that people think it does is because at some point one of the gurus decided to print up a list showing that these things corresponded to Federal Reserve Bank locations. That's the only thing that ever has occurred that has allowed people to believe this. It is a falsity. It is not true. In addition to that, as I just got through explaining to you, the similar number system that is used to identify foreign securities is what actually has the letter in front of the 9 digits. And although many of you may find on Social Security cards that there are 9 digits there, many of you will find that there are not a full 9 digits. For example, on the back of mine, there are only 7 digits. So to be perfectly honest with you folks, I think this has already been debunked by an awful lot of people, even some of the gurus themselves. But in this particular scenario, you know, it's just not true. It just isn't true. That's all there is to it. It is part of a redemption theory scheme, and the bottom line is there are people that have nothing on the back of their Social Security cards. There are people that have 7 digits, people that have 6 digits, people that have 8 digits, and people that have 9 digits. There are people that don't have letters on the back. It's a serial number. That's all it is, and it's there for the purpose of security to prevent theft. And the final comment that we're going to be going over today is, looks like he was just charged for the checks, which are not promoted by A4V people. He was not charged for A4V, only checks, right? Okay, this comes off of the video about Marvin G. Miller that I last put up last week with regards to Marvin's unfortunate arrest, in which he is being charged with many things, and I'm going to go over that with you now. Okay, Marvin was charged with 4 counts of bank fraud. Marvin was also, which includes wire fraud. Marvin was also charged with 2 counts of check charges that were fraudulent checks. But Marvin was also charged with 2 counts of uttering a forged instrument, as a criminal offense. And I want to go ahead and go over the actual legal meaning of that. Uttering a forged instrument is a criminal offense when a person knowingly publishes or puts into circulation any forged or altered financial document, legal document, or other writing with the intent to misrepresent it as true and defraud others. It amounts to uttering a forged instrument. To utter means to distribute or offer under the pretense that it is genuine. The uttering of a forged instrument is a separate and distinct offense from the making of it. The accused must not only know that the instrument was forged, but must intend to defraud at the time of offering it. And Marvin has separate check charges. So just so that you guys are aware, Marvin did attempt an A4V on the vehicle at the BMW dealership. That is considered uttering a forged instrument. It is considered a forged legal document that has been altered, that he was aware that was altered. And being that his check charges are separate, I can only assume until the actual court case that has to do with the A4V. Okay, now for those of you that did not see on the video that Marvin did give them an A4V, you can go to the original video that I made of Marvin, and you can take a look at the link that is in the description. It will take you to the spot in the video that shows you him presenting them with the A4V. All right, that's going to do it for the month of March. There are many more I would have liked to have put in here, but I really don't want to make this video too long. For those of you that have additional questions, you're more than welcome to comment or to email me at virgotriad@protonmail.com. And I hope this answered some of the questions that other people might have. And everybody have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.